I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 13th, 2025 meeting of the Gainesville End of Life Doulas. We are having a program today where I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my own creative process around thinking about my own memorial. And it kind of turned out to be getting to know me a little bit and some of my life story. So we're going to watch the video and then we'll have questions and answers and comments after. Thank you. Today is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025, and I'm going to be giving a program which is about creating your own memorial. My name is Shanti Vani, and I live in Gainesville, Florida. And as I was doing this project, I realized that I couldn't exactly plan my memorial. I ended up looking at a lot of family photos and slides and letters and things that caused me to want to share a little bit about where I come from and who I think I am and where I think I might be going. Because I do teach about death and dying, and I realize that any day I could die, and I want to leave something behind so that people will know me a little bit better, and hopefully it might give them some comfort. So that's what I'm doing with this program today, and I'm going to show it to you with slides and music and photos, the story parts of my life. So I hope you enjoy this program. Hey, this is a little bit of my life and my memories. I'm Shanti Vani, and I want to share with you some of where I came from, where I've been, where I am now, and where I'm heading. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is an old photo of my mother's family. On the top left is her mother, Lillian, and second over to the right is her father, George. And just below George, the bearded man there is my great-grandfather, Millard Fillmore Hardy. And he was born in, 1850. So in this photo, he's probably 80 years old. Yeah, I would think. Below him is my mom with the brown hair, Helen, and she was born in 1925. So yeah, so this photo must be around 1920. So just a little sense of my maternal ancestors. This is my grandmother Lillian as a young girl. And this is on the left, the girl with the brown hair is my grandmother on my father's side, and she's Dorothy Blackall. She was born in 1892, so I imagine this photo was taken in 1897 or so, because she was probably 5 years old. So it's kind of amazing to have such old photographs. And that's my grandmother, Dorothy. She's quite a lady, and my grandfather, Heman Judson Pettingill. And he was a Rotarian and a banker, and he did a lot to support local hospital projects. And then this is my parents, Helen and George, at their wedding in 1945. Now, her father had died suddenly and unexpectedly less than a year earlier in September of 44. So she had some sudden unexpected loss. But the World War II was going on, and a lot of guys felt like they had to jump into the service, and a lot of them, I guess, grabbed a bride and headed out. He was in the Air Force. There's Mom's bride wedding picture. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. So very soon they started having a family, my sister Nancy, and then I came along in 1951. Nancy was 1946. And there I am. One of my newest great-grandchildren looks to me very much like I looked like when I was a baby. That's cool. So my first 2 years were in Liberia, and then we lived 2 years in Ethiopia. So then my brother came along. There's Dick, the four of us with Mom. In growing up, we had a summer house in Goose Pond, which was a beautiful place in Western Massachusetts near Lee. And we built a house out of redwood over the lake. And so this is in the process of building the house. We have a sunfish. We had a beautiful time in the summers, and this was in the, I guess, I don't know if it was the late 50s or throughout the 60s. They built a nice stairway up to the house. We had a tree house, a lot of good memories from those times. This is me with my sister and my mom. So I must have been about maybe 9 or 10. I guess Nancy was about 14 or 15. And this is in high school. I had a wonderful art teacher, Mr. Jacquier, and he made me feel really connected and deeply loved. And we had a good time in high school. So in 1963, when JFK was assassinated, I was in middle school, and we were all shocked to hear that news. And I think they sent us home early that day. I don't know. I remember walking home from school and being just really devastated. But what I always remembered from him, and it really stuck with me to this day, was ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And I think of that in ask not what your family can do for you, ask what you can do for your family. Very important words. And in the 60s, we had a lot of unrest with the civil rights movement and Martin Luther King. So he made a huge impact on me as well. And I guess, I went to the Poor People's Campaign, and I marched and did a lot of activism in the 60s in my high school years. So he said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And those words will always hold true. Oh, yeah. So I want to tell you about a thing that happened in my senior year in high school. We were in homeroom class, and with the war in Vietnam raging and the civil rights struggles we were having in the 60s, it was 1968, and I decided that I would, it was not my preference to salute the flag every morning as they were trying to make us do. So we appealed to the American Civil Liberties Union, and they won my case. And I was an AB student. I was a good kid, and I was allowed to graduate in June of 1968, along with my class. So the ACLU is still working hard for our civil rights. This is a photo I took at the Poor People's Campaign in Washington, D.C. in 1968. In 1969, we went to Woodstock. My brother and I went separately. He was a lot younger than me. I was 18 at the time, so I guess he was 15. There's his photo right down in the front. I took this from his Facebook page, obviously. So needless to say, those were uproarious times. He remembered seeing me there. I barely remembered anything. No, Woodstock was amazing. I tried going to college. I went to do language study in Mexico, and I dropped out of school. And this is what I came back home with. My first beautiful child, Maria, wrapped in hermoso. She was truly a blessing in my life. She came in 1972. Then when she was about a year old, I met this wonderful guy, Swami Prem Dinesh, Jerry Pfeiffer. He was a musician and a good friend, and he invited me up to New Hampshire to meet some people who were living in the woods up there. And I met the father of my other 3 children there in New Hampshire. And so as a result, we had 3 more. I had 3 more children. So Maria, the oldest, is on the left, and Sarah on the right, and Naomi's in the middle. She was the 3rd born. Here's Naomi with Maria's oldest daughter and first grandson. And just to show you the joy and laughter that they shared. So I started realizing how many people came out of that union of my parents. And here's Julian as he's a little bit older. This guy with the rainbow colors is what reminds me of him. He's just really a jazzy guy pretty much his own person, really a lot of fun. Then Anna's younger sister, Alex, has these two living children. Actually, both of those girls have lost a child, each have had one son who died. But this is Alex with her two boys when they were younger, and here they are more recently, Leo on the left and Landon on the right. So my next second child was Sarah. She's a beautiful, happy girl. And she ended up with a beautiful extended rainbow family. Her daughter Ashley and the lit cat in the back, and then her wife to the right is Haley, and their children and extended family there at the downtown Plaza Gay Pride celebration. So then Ashley ended up with her miracle baby. She found a paternal father for her son Jackson, who is born in 2023, one of my great grandsons. And then Naomi, my third born, she died in 2015 tragically. We miss her a lot, but fortunately she brought a beautiful son into the world who was Corey. Corey went into the Army, and he was deactivating IEDs in Afghanistan for a time, and I was concerned about him, but he came back, got the GI Bill, got his nursing degree, and is now working as a hospice home health nurse. So I'm really happy with that. This is Corey and Shelby and Aiden at his first birthday when they were visiting us, but he's like 9 now. So I guess he was born in 16 or so. Yeah. Hard to keep up with all these babes, but there's Sarah with Landon on the left and Aiden on the right. You can see how close in age those two are. But Aiden lives up in Michigan. And then my fourth born is Eli. And you can see the kindness and love that he has here for his grandpa, my dad. Eli had 2 children. They were Haley and then Austin, and a real blessing in our life. And now Austin is a daddy of this beautiful little girl, Haven, who was born in 2024 in October. So the family is growing, and now Haley, who was married in 2023, is now pregnant and due to have her first child in January 2026. So this is just a kind of a bit of background on my family. This is a Thanksgiving dinner where we got together with a bunch of the kids and friends. You see, most of them are there, not everyone. But yeah, you can kind of peek around and see. Anyway, big family gathering in the back porch made me very happy. So there's mom and dad. Now, there were years that went by when they weren't talking to each other. And I had to kind of push them a little bit to get more friendly with each other. So, I guess every family has their struggles. And quite frankly, we still have ours, where people are having a hard time with each other. But I've just learned to do the best I can, and try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and just put out the best possible. So I love this picture, mom and dad. 2 very good people. The Florida nature landscape here in North Florida is just very rich and lush and beautiful, and it makes me feel so good and at home here. This morning, Glory was in our backyard. Just a little bit about the beauty of nature. Here's a little nature mandala somebody took on a rainy pavement. It's just so much good around us. And I love the Dalai Lama and the work that he does in the world. He says, when you talk, you're only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. And this has been a lesson I've been working on for quite some time. Just listen and not be so anxious to tell my view. This is a picture of Dad and Nancy in her home in Jamaica. Sadly, she was the last of the 7 in my family to die between 2013 and 2018. She was in Jamaica, and she died very a violent death. So it was tough. These are her 2 puppies. I call them compassion ones. Just the beauty of nature. That's my husband with his daughter walking on the beach. I think it was in Puerto Rico. So after Mom died in 2018, I went to New York City. I was very happy to hear about end of life doulas, so I went and did the training with Enelda, and they are a training organization for death doulas. They did a wonderful job, and so I've been active as a doula since then, and my specialty is grief. And one of the greatest joys in my life was after years and years of pain and struggle, meeting my beautiful husband, Terry. We met in 1997, and the way we met, we were both doing good deeds and being kind and giving. And in 2004, we were married at the Thomas Center here in Gainesville. And now Anna Schwait was doing a ceremony for us. She's one of our local death doulas. Here's most of the kids, I think, the kids and grandkids at the time. Austin was 4, I think. And Terry's family was there. We had a lovely, lovely time. Being a do-it-yourselfer, I made my own cake. I had my friend help decorate with real roses and ferns. And then our honeymoon, we went to Europe. We went around France and Italy and just had a really good time. So these are some more honeymoon shots. I think that must be in Venice. Yeah. And that's going to be, yeah, anyway, that's Venice, I guess. We went to the Picasso Museum. This is some other travel, I don't know where, but this man has been such a blessing in my life and has taken me to many beautiful spots. This was in Maui. We went to Bimini and we swam with dolphins. We went to the Grand Canyon where the moon was rising and the sun setting at the same time, coincidentally, and just so beautiful. We went with one of the grandkids to Disney World here in Orlando, and notice how magical it is at night with the lights. And Terry has just brought light into my life, so I wanted to share this. He does solar energy. His company's Brightside Solar. And so this is a Christmas tree that I planted in our front yard, and it's been growing. And so we would decorate it at Christmas, and then it would be solar lighting that would keep that tree lit. Here, Terry's reading a book by our teacher, Geshe Michael Roach, and he has the Eightfold Path above him, which reminds us of how we want to live. And this is our teacher, Geshe Michael Roach, who lives in Arizona. He studied for 25 years at Saramay Monastery and is the first American to achieve that level of Geshe. And so these are a couple of photos. This one from a retreat I went to. And these are some of our nuns who are giving a teaching. And they are doing a Torma ceremony. Is something we do before we go into retreat. This is Geshe Michael at our new marble stupa. The marble came from a quarry just around the mountain there in Bowie, Arizona. And now I'm teaching this class, which is a new thing for me, is Preparing for Death, Ancient Wisdom for Everyday Life. So we're getting to the end now. There is one movie that Terry and I have enjoyed immensely, and that is Waking Ned Divine. And this is the toast to Ned Divine, and it's called The Parting Glass. And I really just wanted to let you guys hear it and enjoy it as I show some pictures of some of my beloved people who have left the earth and have departed. So, of course, you'll see my picture there with my mother and sister, because I guess maybe when people are watching this, I may have already gone with them. So here we go, the parting glass.
They're sorry for my going away, and all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. Since it fell into my lot that I should rise and you should not, I gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be to you all. But since it fell into my lot that I should rise and you should not, I gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be to you all. So fill to me the parting glass and drink a health whatever befalls. Then gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be to you all.
So I want to thank everyone for being here and for watching my story. And I just hope that you've gained something from this and that you go on and enjoy your day. Okay, thanks. So I really welcome any questions. I know some things in my life I sort of hinted at or just dropped a little bomb quickly and quietly. Different things, but I welcome any questions about anything. And I know I have the right to remain silent, but I usually don't. And then also comments of what it brought up for you. So, but yeah, if we could do any questions, I'd like to start with that. Just feel free to unmute and or comments. Yeah. Yes, Dawn.
Um, Sort of towards the beginning after college, I think you said you moved to Mexico. How did that happen, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I had been graduated in 68, went to Woodstock in 69, and we were in the phase of free love, which wasn't free. And there was a lot of experimenting going on. So I went to State University of New York at Old Westbury, which was an experimental college. They had a lot of inner city kids from New York and just different kids. It was sort of a liberal college. And I really I wasn't motivated to do classes and stuff. So I think after the first semester, I decided to take a semester of language study in Mexico. And apparently Spanish wasn't the only language I studied when I was there. But I really did pick up my Spanish, and I met this fellow, and things didn't work out the way I thought they might. But I came home to Massachusetts pregnant with Maria. Anything else? Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Is that a hand, Gwen? You're muted. Did you want to say something?
I just want to ask, so is your plan that you will play this video at your memorial?
I doubt it.
Okay.
It could be, or maybe it would be a different version of it. I'm always hoping for 20 more years, but I do plan to put it on YouTube and make it available to my kids. What I was thinking is it might be something I just let them see at this point, because honestly, we don't have much conversation about, we sort of talk about we need to get together about things, but the story of the shoemaker's kids that don't have shoes. Well, I'm kind of like that with talking about death in my family. We just don't
Well,
get around to it. So I mean, we do some, they're willing, but anyway, it would be something I could give them and just let them watch, and maybe they'd see things about me that they didn't know, or yeah.
mhm. Okay,
But
thanks.
it's a beginning.
Yeah, I liked it. It was very informative. I feel
Thank
like I
you.
know you
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I really had to pick and choose what I could put in it. I mean, the whole '60s thing, the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War. I did go to jail for one night from protesting, and I think that was in DC. Yeah, it was a tumultuous time. So, anybody else? Comments, Bonnie?
Well, again, thank you very much. I like Gwen, I feel like I know you so much better. We're contemporaries. I also graduated high school in '68, missed Woodstock, sadly. That I'm sure was a wonderful experience. But what I did while it was playing, I was tuned in to the content, but I sort of did a little outline. And because you said, this was just kind of how you thought of putting things together. So that's going to be very helpful to me, and I would share it with you, of course. I'm sure you had an outline as you planned what you were going to put in there. And it flowed so beautifully. Maybe you didn't have an outline. I don't know.
I was winging it really, but yeah.
But I just wanted to say that how you did it was of interest to me. What step by step by step. So it was nice. It was enjoyable. I too had the question Gwen had about, well, are you going to update this each year, or there's going to be more great grands, and how would you go back and fill in? But you answered that, so thank you.
Well, and I'm sure it will be occasionally an ongoing process. And maybe we could get a group of us together that would want to kind of workshop it together.
Yeah.
So,
Well, chapter 2, chapter 3.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Anna, you were going to say something?
Yes, I was going to say thank you for sharing. It was a lot of really, I thought, very intimate dialogue about where you've been and what you've done, and I appreciated you disclosing that. It was a bit of a shock to catch myself there and say
There
how
you
many
were.
years ago, God, life has gone by. But thank you for including that.
Well, yeah.
I wonder what the process is, what it does, because at this stage of life, we're facing the integrity. In Erickson's developmental, he said, when you're at this phase of life, and this phase, I'm saying, I think he said 65 and over. I say it more 75 and over, but around this area, that we're looking at the integrity of our life, who we are, what we've done, how we've done it. And I love the analogy that one of my teachers says. He says that he was interested in that they called it a funeral wake. And just recently I was on a boat and I happened to look back, and it was a pontoon boat and was making a huge wake.
Yeah.
Huge wake. And that's what we do when we do these things, is like we're capturing backwards, looking back at time to see where we've been, what the wake is that we have created with our life, with our being, who we've touched, what we leave behind, the family members that have emerged and are here now, the generations. We say in indigenous culture that we look 3 generations ahead and 3 generations behind. And
Mm.
we always live our life considering and honoring. And so that's what you've done in this. And it was a beautiful piece to leave. And I hope that it has brought you to a place of peace and integrity with your life. I mean,
Mm.
because I wonder why I don't have all of that information, and it's different. I don't have photos. I don't have
Mm.
anything. It's a different way, a different path. And so in our family, we lost everything in a fire when I was an
Mm.
infant. And that set the whole navigational ground afloat. But when you have it, and if you can document it, that's how you're going to be remembered.
Mm.
And maybe that is what we're seeking. How will we be remembered? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And yeah, I realize that right now they have children and jobs and grandchildren, and they're very involved with their lives the same way I was during that stage of life. And um, I take what I can get with different ones and I leave the rest. I used to be upset if people weren't in touch with me, and now I just offer them grace and good wishes, and so it's shifted as I'm on my spiritual path from all those barbs and harms and hurts and pain, the cycle of suffering and pain, to releasing it and only wishing everyone well, and realizing
And thank goodness that we grow. Thank goodness
because
that we change and we get the freedom and we can say, I love you regardless.
that's right. And talk about planting seeds, literally, that the ovum and ovas were planted. And sometimes I say, I wish we were older when we had our kids, what wisdom wise, because I really did a lot of damage. I really hurt those kids. And I was so sorry. And it was such a long, slow road of getting out of that mess. But now I feel like, Dr. King said, not quite the mountains, but I'm definitely seeing a broader view and higher up than when I was down in the muckamuck, and creating this karma, And so, my studies have given me the ability to, and Josephine's been in my class, but to actually identify what's bothering me. Like, you can't really meditate well if there's stuff on your mind that your conscience and that's bothering you. And so to identify it, and then in every action possible, work the antidote to that harm, do something for someone that is directly in opposition to the pain and the harm. And that's all we can do, is like be joyful and give and move forward, and give as much as we can to whoever is there. A little more I wanted to share. I was a little nervous doing the video and I didn't want it to be too long. But I wanted to include, you talk about 3 generations. So I have notes here. I do have ancestral letters and notes. I have letters from my great, my grandfather in the picture, and then my great grandfather, Millard Fillmore Hardy. He was born 13 days after Millard Fillmore took the presidency. So that is exactly who he was named after. So that was really cool. And he was a minister and he had a sense of humor. They lived in this little town called Nelson, New Hampshire. And Nelson, I don't know how many people it had back then, but it's a tiny little, beautiful little town in New Hampshire. And there was a parsonage that I used to visit as a child. So he had these 2 sisters, Bessie and Myra. I guess after he died, they lived in the parsonage, and it had a double or triple outhouse out back, and it was a wooden little old structure. And those childhood memories when you're in this old grand person house, and it's also kind of cool and smells and magical. So he was an amazingly loved person. And I said he was born in 1850, but what I found out about his father, George Granville Hardy, it just makes me so immensely proud, but also sad, because he was born, George Granville Hardy, he was Millard's father, and he was born in 1816 and married in 1844, and then had 5 children between 1850. So Millard was the first, And then 4 more, I think it was 4. Last one was born in 1862. So that last child, his wife had some kind of disability. I don't know what, but this was from some Civil War memos that were left in my family, that he was called to serve. And well, certainly, I guess in 1861, there was a call for fighters to go fight against slavery. And, at the time he didn't heed the call, but then he got what do you call the stagecoach came, and it gave the news of 18 or something, a number of their young men who had died in the war. And so he answered the call, and he went in 1862, and his last child was still in the cradle. So it was wife with 5 children, disability, and he still heeded the call he gave his life to fight slavery. And that just, it's just so amazing to know that we come from that history. Anyway, it is nice. I watched the Finding Your Roots show on TV, and it's always amazing when people can get information and answers. But yeah, so for me, I'm just doing the best I can to, like I say, counteract any mistakes I may have made and any hurts I may have inflicted. And what it ends up being for me is just having really patience. I went to an improv workshop recently where they had a whole session about accepting criticism and just being able to receive criticism or even anger, and just like not react in anger, because that way you just let the person say how they feel. And also just to depersonalize it, like, oh, sure, it might have to do with me, but maybe it doesn't. And I might as well choose to not take things personally, even if they're given personally. Just and so yeah, I'm feeling pain in my family right now. I am, and it's okay, because I've come to realize that you can't change people, certainly not by trying to. And just, I don't know, acceptance, I guess, and wanting to be the soft place, even though I feel like some of the kids might not feel like I am that, but I want to be that. I don't know. I feel like I'm bearing my soul here, but does it resonate with anyone? Yeah, Donna.
Resonates with me. It
Yeah.
resonates with me. I have a youngest son that's not talking to me for a year now, or going to be a year, and he insists that this is what I deserve because I didn't respect him about something. And it's just tough, it's just tough. And I've emailed him and apologized and talked about, I understand where you're coming from, and I respect what you think and believe, but he's not going to back down. He's going to wait a full year. I feel like I'm being punished, kind of. And it's tough.
Yeah. So I find it's what I make it. It's like if I was in solitary confinement, or if I was on restriction, or had a disability and couldn't walk, or, it's like I've had to accept that. And in order for my heart to be well, it has to not be about me. I mean, it's just really tough. I was thinking of having a support group for mothers and grandmothers who are, estranged, because it's in our heart, we just know that we should be connected and let bygones be bygones. And maybe we won't be here tomorrow, and we know all of that. So I don't know if, Anna, if you have any other wisdom for that, but just, how do we manage that kind of situation? And
Well, it's painful, but I just believe that this will end. He said, I'm not going to talk to you for a year, so I'm waiting for the year to be up, and I'm reminding myself to keep my thoughts to myself more, because I felt like something I said to him sort of caused this. He's very sensitive. He has his reasons, you know. I can, it resonates with me about having raised children in a difficult situation myself, you know, in tough times. So I can understand where you're coming from in that, because I feel like he had a hard time. His father moved away and he didn't really know him very well. You know, things happened, and he has some reasons to be angry towards me. And I don't think it has to do with something that I said to him. It has more to do with a history of problems with him, you know, mistakes made. And so I just try to be patient and understanding that this is where he's at now.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah, I like that.
And it is part of that integrity that I was talking about. We're trying to make it whole. We're trying to feel good, not so much like a feel good type of session, but to feel that our life has had a meaningful purpose and that we've done our best with it. And it still becomes our own responsibility to continue to live each day in the presence of goodness and in the presence of peace, which is our true nature. And so as we continue to do it, we can see the suffering that not only they are in, but if we expand it out, we'll see how much suffering there is. I mean, even in our country and in our world. So there's a lot going on, but it's up to us to maintain the community, to maintain the dialogue open-hearted, and to have the support that we can find so that we can live our life to the best, doing the good where we can, like we're doing here, you know. And the mind, this mind will have its narrative forever. That's what it's meant to do. Just like our heart beats and our lungs breathe and our kidneys filter our fluids, the mind thinks always. It's good at that. And then we can manage to say, yes, but I'm here. I am here looking at all this mess of thought that's in my head, at least. And then I want to be able to say, I want to live in a better way. And so we step into that role. But this is a good place to do that. And I'm glad that we have it.
Yeah.
It's integrity. It's integrity. And if you don't have integrity, the opposite side, he said that you would live the rest of your days with despair. I didn't get it right. I didn't do it right. It's never going to be right. And it goes down that storyline. Well, bring it back. Be whole. Be here. It was enough. You did good. It was wonderful. And it's at this place now that we're sharing. I mean, that's how I have to look at it. And my story is totally different from that one. I think different cultures and people, my indigenous background is different. So I have a little bit harder story, but it's still a story now that I say I did the best I could with what I was given. And I'm here now to continue to grow. And I encourage all of us to do that much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. That's really so true. I just I wanted to share a little story about someone that I knew. There's a day program for people with mental illness here in Gainesville, and I used to do like a peer support group at the this place, the Gainesville Opportunity Center. And I haven't been there lately. And there was a fellow there who was struggling and having a hard time. And he called me day before yesterday, and he was struggling so badly. And he had really searched for my number and called me. And I still had him in my caller ID. So I was like, so happy to hear from you. And he was just about at his rope's end. And I had known his grief story. And I'm not saying that we can always just, heal mental illness with listening, but it really helps. So he called me, and he was feeling so desperate because the group home or place where he was living, he was about to get kicked out, and maybe Baker acted again because it's been in and out of the institutions, and because his anger was taking over. and he almost socked somebody, and he's always angry and blowing up, and he had no control over it. And he almost punched, one of the employees there and whatnot. So he searched for my number. And anyway, I listened, and I just told him, you're a good man. I know you are. I really like you. And then he opened up and he told me about 3 tragic deaths that he had witnessed straight up face to face. And they were all different. One was gruesome and one was very unfortunate. And anyway, just letting him know that, without going too far into the story, he had been caring for his mother and she took a fall and then she died. And so he was her care person, and he carried that as though he felt as though he killed her, but he was caring for her. And, there was an accident. She fell, she went in the hospital, and she died. And letting him know that what I've learned is that we all have a different time and way for dying, and it's not anyone's fault. And telling him several times, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You're a good man. You didn't want her to die. You were taking care of her. And I guess you see the photo here of my daughter. It's always there with me that I, as a mother, felt that my parts of the story I didn't go into in the video, my pain and anguish and suffering when she was little, it was my fault. I felt like somehow for a while, because I brought her into the world and I was her mom, and I left her when she was 2. And but I came to terms with even that, is she had her path. She was 38 years old when she died. So I don't know exactly what I want to say with this, but except that it's good to realize that each person has their time to come and their time to go. And it's not all about us. And each person has their time to stay away and be quiet and leave us alone. And that can be a time for tremendous growth rather than constant misery over where are they and why. And, so anyway, that's, and the guy, he messaged me later that night and he said, I know what you're saying. I get it. And it didn't take a whole lot of my time or work to encourage him. And I mean, it's just so comforting to be able to have cleared enough of my own junk that I would want to be available to someone this way. So yeah, I hope my kids see the video, and I'll offer it to them, and I may or may not get responses, and it's a start. And I'm really grateful that I committed to doing this. Like I said, I was scrambling today to put it together and splice it and get the pictures and find the song. But I'm so glad we could get together and do this. We are mere mortals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Oh, could we do a little circle, like a little closing circle? We always try to do
Sure.
of just at sharing each a takeaway. Yeah, maybe just raise your hand when you're ready to just share one thing that was good from being here today. Bonnie.
Like I said, I have an outline now, and that's yours. And I can either follow it or I can think outside that box too. So thank you.
Great. Nice. Anybody else? Yeah, Gwen.
I think I learned a whole lot more than I came expecting. So thank you for even, the aftermath talking about things has a huge impact. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Gwen. I hope you keep coming. Next time you'll have Josephine's story. That'll be fun.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Dawn, you have something?
I thank you for your honesty in telling your story, and it helps me to understand that we're all human and we all make mistakes. And I, totally get that. And we have to forgive ourselves.
Nice. Thank you. And Anna.
Thank you for sharing your story, and it gives a lot of thought to see how like Bonnie says, how to structure our memorial. And I've been even thinking if I'm going to create a memorial, but this was a good intro. Thank you.
Yeah, it was just an exercise. How about you, Josephine? You
Oh,
any comment?
yeah, I think it was beautiful, because sometimes my granddaughters keep saying, you have to tell your story. And I've never really told them my story. So that gives me something to do, work on.
Okay,
Yes,
great. And I
thank you.
see Elizabeth is unmuted. Elizabeth?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. And I think your family will really appreciate having what you've put your heart and soul into, and good for you.
Oh, thanks. Great.
And
Well, yeah,
thanks to Anna too. Thanks to Anna too. Very good contributions.
Oh,
yeah, this is well, you see, she did ceremony at my wedding. This is my wise woman in the world, and I'm so grateful she's still here. And when I need help with my doula cases, I call Anna, or if I'm struggling with family, I call
I'm
Anna.
here for all of you,
My
and you're here
guru.
for me. So thank you.
Thanks so much,
Bye
everyone.
bye.